Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you. From Yahuwah, our Father, and Yahusha. He is the Ma'ashayah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming king. Hear, O Yeshua, Yahuwah, who is our mighty one. He is one. There is no other mighty one in existence than Yahuwah, and Yahusha is his voice. This is Brother Dawood coming to you again to bring you a projected renewed moon report, which will make the Shabbat on Monday. There's some who sighted the moon here in the West, but is that the renewed moon for the 7th month? 7 years. I've been taught the ways of the heavens. Were you? 7 years. We came across every anomaly that you can imagine. Did you? 7 years. We went out to sight, document the moon. Did you? We have noticed in those 7 years the change. Most people have no clue. This is why you cannot get out in the forefront and teach about Yah's perfect time if you have not dedicated your whole life to it. If you do, and you make a mistake, the blood of all of the people will be upon your hands. Do you know how to check, try, and prove your sighting? Have you accumulated a toolkit over the years to confirm everything? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that is the real problem. I want to show you something. Just like in the New Testament, you have two thought processes. Two, all the time. That's how it is in the days of the sinners. You have your global observation. See it on the left? It says expected Saturday evening, July 6th in the West Coast. Then you look to your right. You have your Yesharo-based observation. Expected Sunday evening, July 7th. What is that telling you? One is based on the global observation, meaning the Gentiles, and the other is based on our land. Which do you choose? Does it begin here, or does it begin there? Let's check it out. Devarim, chapter 11, 11 to 12. 11. But the land? What land? Is this America? No. The land that you're going to possess, the promised land, is a land of hills and valleys, and it drinks water of the rain of heaven. 12. A land in which Yahuwah Alayak cares for. The eyes of Yahuwah Alayak are always upon it, from the beginning of the year, the first Hadash in the first month, to the end of the year, the last Hadash of the 12th month. The Father only counts his days through the moon. Note, where would be the origin of his time? His land or the land of the Gentiles? You choose. Hanuk 73. And her first phase, who is her? Her name is Asanya, the moon. Look what it says. First phase in the east. Where does the first phase originate from? Is it the west? Comes forth on the 30th morning. When is the 30th morning? If you can't answer these questions immediately, you should not be teaching. The 30th morning is the evening of the 29th. And on that day, she becomes visible. You have to see something. Cannot be a dark moon, and constitutes for you the first phase of the moon on the 30th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. You can see the moon on the eve of the 29th, and the last day of the month is the eve on the 30th. It can come out either one of these times. And the one half of her goes forth by a seventh part. It's going to tell you what it looks like. And her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of the 1/7 part of it, and on display, the 14th part of her light. Okay, look at the calendar. We have the lunar calendar on top, and we're going to overlay it on Pope Gregory's calendar. All right, look at July 6th. That was Saturday evening, waxing crescent, 0%. Passed straight through the Promised Land, through Africa, and it did not appear until it came here on the West Coast. Look at July 7th. This is the day that we choose. This is Yesharo-based observation. All right. Waxing crescent, 3%. In the beginning of the month, we have identified that the moon can either have a 1% or 3%. If it's going to be spotted in the land, it would say 1%. So if you spot the moon on July 7th, how does a day work? You spot the moon in the evening, and it goes from the evening of the 7th to the evening of the 8th. New moon's day would be day number 8. Come down to Pope Gregory's calendar. We're overlaying the moon on top of this solar calendar. You see day 8 is highlighted. That is day 1 of the lunar month. We'll start count from there. Hanuk says, in 14 days, the light will become full. So we do our count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Brother Dawood, You said in 14 days the light will become full. That is absolutely correct. When does the 14th day come out? In the evening of the 13th begins the 14th day. Let's look at the next chart. Let's continue with Hanuk 73. And is invisible that night with the 14 parts and a half of them. What does that mean? Can you answer that? The moon only appears for a few minutes and it disappears. It turns dark outside and you won't see her. She's on the other side of the earth, on display for the Eastern nations. Yeah. And she rises on that day with exactly a 7th part and comes forth and recedes from the rising of the sun. Every day she moves backwards from the west, going back to the east to meet up with the sun. And in her remaining days, she becomes bright in the remaining 13 parts. Okay, so we had day 1. Now we have 13 more parts. That'll be 14 days that the light will become bright, meaning full. Look at the chart. We identified day number 20 in the evening to be the beginning of the 14th day. Look up top at the moon. July 20th. Waxing gibbous, illumination 99%. When does she come out? When the sun goes down. Then she rises. She'll traverse across the sky during the evening. In the morning, when you wake up, she'll be in the west. The sun will be in the east. They'll be facing each other. Look, she will receive a full 100%. Okay, let me give you another scenario. Let's start from the 6th. You know, Saturday evening sighting. All right. If you start from Saturday evening sighting, you have to go 1 day back. It would be on the 19th. Look at the moon. 95%. This is how you test, try, and prove whether your calculation is right or wrong. Why do we have to do this? Hanuk 80, 2 to 4. 2. In the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened. Are you starting to see? And their seed shall be tardy in the lands and fields. And all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. And the rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold it. Do you know here in Florida, we didn't start receiving rain till like the middle of June? What happened to April showers? Bring May flowers. Those times are gone, brothers and sisters. Now is the time for the observers, the ones who check, try, and prove everything. You are being tested. You have to return. In order to return, you have to learn how to find Yah's days. 3. And in those times the fruit of the earth shall be backwards. Are you not seeing this? And shall not grow in their time, Look at the Jews. They said they had to add 13th months because the barley harvest is not ripe, so they add more time to a calendar. And the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time. 4. And the moon shall alter her order and not appear at her time. How many of you teachers that are out there know this? Everyone chooses global observation. It's the same way in the New Testament, where everyone chooses that the world is included in our covenant. Everything begins and ends in our land. We have been estranged from our land. Some people say, well, you know, I can see this moon. I believe what I see. I don't believe what you say. Well, if you believe what you see, you are in the land of your captivity. What if you were in the promised land? You would not have seen the moon on the 6th. Our observation would be on the 7th. It'll be 3%. It is perfect. You can count to the time the moon becomes full. And the scripture tells you that in these days of the sinners, things are going to be altered. They would be backwards. Guess what else the scripture said? The elect will not be fooled. But the sinners definitely will. Brother Kuya's calendar. Thank you, Brother Kuya. Blow the shupar. All right, Brother Kuya is an expert in time. Yes, he is. Yah chose him for this task. I am the voice. Brother Kuya puts the visual aid. Through all of these years, we have come through these months. We have documented it. Did you know last year was also a 30-day month to the Day of Atonement? Yes. Identify day number 6 in red on the top line in this calendar. Day number 6 is Pope Gregory's calendar. Day number 29 is the lunar calendar. When is the 30th morning? In the eve of the 29th. Okay. We didn't see it. Some people did. We did not. So we have 2 brackets here. See the 6th and the 29th? Now come down to the 7th and the 30th. Projected moon and Feast of Trumpets begins in the evening. See the bracket there? That's when the lunar event comes out. Be out there. Take your pictures. When you sight it, begin to blow the trumpets. So your new moon's day would be on day 8 of the 7th month of the first day of the month, according to the path of years. What do you mean the path of years? Everyone else is in the 5th month. See how everything is twisted? This is why Yah chose me and the Yahuwah Alua community to bring you time. Because the whole world is twisted. No one knows what they're doing. I was trained by the Yalayam. Were you? Is it not evident? The things that I say, people have never even heard before. But once they go to check it out, they're astonished. Wisdom has returned to Yesharo. But you don't have to choose wisdom. do whatever you want to do. The ball is in your court. If you choose wrong, one day off, you will miss the Day of Atonement. You will miss the high priest. This is a test to see what you would choose. This may be the last atonement before the gathering. We will announce the sighting of the new moon this evening. As soon as it's sighted, we'll give you instructions to blow the trumpets and come to the celebration on Monday at 2 o'clock. Shalom.